Your girl is finally free from Alchemized. I don't mean that in like a slanderous way. I mean that more in a, I've only been reading one book for the last 3 weeks, and my bestie and I were talking today about how monogamy in literature is not for me. I need an open relationship. I need to be free to go read several books at the same time. Focusing on one book at a time, it's difficult for me. I like to have a selection, maybe at least two, usually three. I like to have an audiobook and then usually two different physical books or two audiobooks and a physical, my mood. And I went through 1,000+ pages of just devastating war, no good time. I will say there was one funny scene, and there were two parts of it that made me laugh, and I'm going to say them out of context. We had Kane's character say, "Oh dear." There was more to it, but I can't say it because it might be a spoiler. And then there's another point where Kane's dad, I can't give context as to what's happening, but let's just say he's stuck, he's pinned down, and in a very serious moment he goes, "What? No one's gonna ask me?" And they did make me laugh. But those are the only times that I laughed during 1,000+ pages. So I've been at war. But war is finally over and we're free to read whatever we want. So really that's what this video is primarily focused on, is just what the fuck is Gina gonna sink her teeth into now? I am obviously picking back up A Torch Against the Night. I paused this to start Alchemized and I thought about this book the entire time. I already restarted it last night and it is different. It's just going from such like a harsh world that is in black and white, no sunshine, no color, no vibrancy. It's just devastating the entire time. It's just not, there's no happiness to be found. Not saying that this book has happiness in it, but it feels, it's a little bit more vibrant, it's a little bit more of like a time. It was jarring switching to this. I will say that. Now, as for other books I'm going to read, I don't know. I feel like I'm testing a few out right now because I truly don't know what it is that I want. I kind of want one book to not be a fantasy book because after 1,000+ page fantasy book, you kind of reach burnout in a little bit. And this is fantasy still. So I'm trying to figure out what that is. I did test drive this book called This Thing Between Us. I have had this on my Kindle because it's on Kindle Unlimited. I've had it for like a year now or something. I think it's like contemporary horror or something along those lines. I don't know. I saved it when I was trying to find a bunch of different like types of horror books to read. I also have on my Kindle What Moves the Dead, which I might be open to. I think it's technically like a novella. It's under 300 pages. That's T. Kingfisher book. I do really want to read Hemlock and Silver, but I don't know if I want to commit to this one right now. I think this is what I want. I want my fantasy book, which is the Ember in the Ashes book. I want an audiobook, and I think I want a novella. Something else that I do have is Dreadful. I bought this when I was in Texas. I wanted the feeling of buying a book, and I had started it. I genuinely, this is so dumb. I mean, I don't have a bookmark. I didn't put a bookmark in here. I think I made it a few chapters in, maybe like five chapters or something. I was really enjoying my time with this. I'm not expecting too much from it other than more of like on here it says comedic fantasy, so like comedic fantasy, but I don't think this is what I want right now because this is fantasy. A option would be The Wild Robot. I might listen to The Wild Robot if I'm being honest with you. It's a short book. It's one that also might just be nice because I want to read these. I'm familiar with the story that probably takes place in this one because I've seen the movie a million fucking times. It's my favorite movie. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is an option. I think there's an audiobook. If there is, I might. But I mean, I could also physically read it. But I think this might be a really nice audiobook. I have a few other options. This is the only one that I'm absolutely certain of though, because I've been dreaming of it. I've been dreaming of being able to return to it. I am also like 40% of the way through Blood and Gold, which I'm so excited to jump back into that, but I don't think I can do it right now. I think I need like to at least finish another book before jumping back into that fanfic. Plus I'm buddy reading it, and we just finished buddy reading a very long book, and we still have quite a lot of time. I mean, we might be 50% of the way through Blood and Gold. We have like half the story left in that one, so we're just like giving ourselves a little bit of time before jumping into another long buddy read. Such a good fic though. And I have no shame in saying that. I've been telling the author, like, I'm so excited to start reading your fic again. Another book that I'm really interested in is The Library at Hellbore. It's like gory horror fantasy, I believe. I also have this one book on my Kindle called The Beasts of a Little Land. I don't fully know what it is. I do believe it's fantasy. It's also a bit of a longer book, so it probably won't be what I choose. But I've never seen anyone talk about this, and I think I got it because, as we know, I don't look into much of like the summary of books because I like going in blind, but getting an idea of it's always nice. Oh, I got it because I think it's based in like South Korea or something like that, which if you didn't know, that's where I'm from. Which you probably didn't know because I've never shared it before. I thought that would be an interesting one. Two books that I know I need to read at some point before the end of the year would be Legendborn, but or else I'm gonna have to shave my head, and The Will of the Many. I think The Will of the Many would be first, or I might even do them at the same time, but The Will of the Many, kind of want to get on that sooner rather than later because the next one comes out next month, and I would love to be able to just like jump straight into it if I really enjoyed the first one. So what might happen is I might allow myself a palate cleanser of The Wild Robot, and then my next audiobook would be The Will of the Many. I don't know though. I just kind of, I want a palate cleanser that's shorter or that's quicker to get through. And I think The Wild Robot actually might be quite nice. But yeah, this video, come hang out with me. That's always what it really is. But I think my intentions with this is getting back into an open relationship with books after being in a monogamous relationship with Alchemize for the last 3 weeks. It's a new day, it's a new side quest. As I should. As I fucking should, is my right. I have $26 in cash. This is what I'm trying to budget myself to for this side quest. Will I stick to it? Honestly, I don't have much hope in myself for that, but we have it, and so that's how I justified going on this side quest. And guess where I am? I'll show you. Yeah, we're at Barnes & Noble. My thing is, do I need more books? No. But do I have some in mind? Yes. I think, okay, I'm gonna say something. And the issue here is that I don't know if I'll actually stick to it. I either want to get What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher or When Among Crows, because bestie Dylan loved that book and I need to read it. Why am I holding up this money still? Or I need to get like a novella or a standalone that I have not heard of on TikTok. Ooh, am I gonna stick to these rules? Who fucking knows? I don't even know if I'm gonna stick to my $26 budget, because if I wanted a hardcover, I don't think I can afford a book with $26. And a sweet treat. I want a sweet treat too. But we're gonna go in anyways, which means the headphones need to go in, because when I'm out in public spaces by myself, I am not raw dogging it. Absolutely not. I need to have my headphones in, whether it's playing music or not. The world is just too loud for me to raw dog it. So to say that I followed my own rule with this would be a lie. I used $1 of my cash to tip because I gotta try. I ended up getting 3 different books, and they're not the books that I thought I was gonna get, but they're books that 2 of them are ones that I've always wanted. I actually technically got 4 books, but one of them was a duplicate, and it's holding my phone up right now. But when I was checking out, the lady was like, are we doing some school reading? And I was like, no, just for me. I wanted to maybe get a fantasy book, but then I was like, I have so many fantasy books that I need to read, and right now I am kind of looking for something that isn't like a fantasy world, trials, whatever it might be. I have wanted to get a copy of The Handmaid's Tale for a while. I am waiting probably another month to listen to the audiobook because I do want to listen to it, but I do want to do like an immersive read. This is just one I wanted to get to, but after just finishing Alchemized, I don't know if this is what I want right now. So I think I'm going to give myself like a month. I also got The Nickel Boys. I was just like browsing around in the fiction section, and this is the one that caught my eye. I read the first page and I was like, yeah, this is not going to be a happy, fun time, I don't believe. I'm positive it's not going to be, but I'm not really looking for that right now. And then the book that I got a copy of, because I got one for my dad, is A Gentleman in Moscow. This is a book that I have wanted to read for well over a year now. I've just never bought it for some reason. I do know. I knew I was just never in the mood for it. I am kind of in the mood for it, and I think my dad would really enjoy reading it. So I got him a copy too, so that maybe we can do like a very loose buddy read, which is, we'll probably read it at separate times, but then we can both talk about it. But then he has his own copy, so he can do with it whatever he wants. He can bend the pages, whatever, and then I have my own copy. So those are the books that I got. Spent far more than $26. Didn't spend my cash, like I said. And that's that. That's my right. I'm gonna go home now, though. I need to stop. Every time I leave the house, it's expensive, and that's my fault. I think I've decided which of the 3 books that I bought today that I want to dive into. I kind of already knew that Handmaid's Tale was not it because I just finished Alchemized. So it was really between A Gentleman in Moscow and The Nickel Boys, and so I read the first page of each. Really was going off of like the first paragraph to decide which one. I liked both, but I think I'm going with The Nickel Boys, and I'm going to read you the first paragraph because maybe it'll convince you to read it as well. Well, I don't know. Even in death, the boys were trouble. The secret graveyard lay on the north side of the Nickel campus, an patchy acre of wild grass between the old work barn and the school dump. The field had been a grazing pasture when the school operated a dairy, selling milk to local customers, one of the state of Florida's schemes to relieve the taxpayer burden of the boys' upkeep. The developers of the office park had earmarked the field for a lunch plaza, with 4 water features and a concrete bandstand for the occasional event. The discovery of the bodies was an expensive complication for the real estate company, awaiting the all-clear from the environmental study, and for the state's attorney, which had recently closed an investigation into the abuse stories. Now they had to start a new inquiry, establish the identities of the deceased and the manner of death, and there was no telling when the whole damned place could be razed, cleared, and neatly erased from history, which everyone agreed was long overdue. I think the theme of what I'm looking for in a book right now is to be hurt emotionally, to feel bullied emotionally. If you watched my video on Alchemized, you'll know that I really didn't have an emotional reaction to any of the things happening in that story alone, and I was really craving it. Therefore, I picked up books today, I think, that I believed might be emotionally devastating. I know that this one is not going to be a fun time. I think it's going to be a very good book, and I do think it has the potential to make me feel not happy, so I think it'll be perfect. I also didn't mention that last night, I started listening to The Wild Robot. It's like a 4-hour long audiobook. I am going to stick with that, and what's funny is that movie emotionally destroyed me, and while the audiobook is super fun, it is definitely meant to be played aloud for kids to listen to, but that doesn't mean you can't as an adult. It's very whimsical, the production of it all. There's like sound effects and everything. The chapters are like 2 minutes long, if even. I think they do it in chunks of chapters per like thing on Spotify because that's how I'm listening to it, because I got lots of free hours on there. But it's just kind of like a nice little listen. I'll be done with that sooner than later because, like I said, 4 hours long. I think I'm already an hour in. But that one's probably going to hurt my feelings too. And I bet this second An Ember in the Ashes book is going to hurt my feelings. So really, I think the theme of this video is only reading books that will emotionally devastate me. For how long? I don't know. It depends on how much I read in this week. If this first week I don't read much and I'm not emotionally hurt more, we're going another week. I think we found the theme of this video. I did give my dad his copy of A Gentleman in Moscow. I don't know where he's at in his current book or which book he's currently reading. Kind of my thing is I love going to the bookstore and going, oh, I think my dad would like this. I'm gonna buy it for him because selfishly I want him to continue his reading journey. He loves his Star Wars books. He read the Red Rising books, the first trilogy. He didn't read the second part yet, which I don't know if he'll actually like that much. What else did he read all of the Murderbot books, which I haven't, but he started them off of my recommendation of the first one and then he went and bought all of them and he read every single one. Crazy. And then I bought him a few history books as well that I think he'll like. I got this one actually from a used bookstore, which sometimes I'm not great with like used bookstore books because I'll do a whole discussion on this. It has to do with this specific type of OCD and that revolves around contamination. But sometimes my brain, and it doesn't make sense. There's no rhyme or fucking reason as to what my brain decides is and isn't a safe thing. This book felt safe for some reason, but it's The Republic of Pirates. I might actually read this as well, but I think my dad would like this. And it was $7.50. And the man was so sweet in that bookstore. And this is in pretty damn good condition. It really doesn't even look like someone read it. But that's probably what people say too. If the time comes that I pass away, and whoever's still alive rudely gets rid of all my books instead of burying me with all of them, which they shouldn't bury me with all of them. People are like, it looks like this bitch didn't even read these books because I just keep them quite safe. I do have this like slight urge to break the spine of this book because it's just it's not super stiff. It's not like a mass market super stiff one, but it's decently stiff. And I love a floppy. Like, look at this. The Gentleman in Moscow book. Oof. This one. Oof. I do have some editing I need to do, but I really want to read. I want to read my fucking book. I don't want to do all these other things. I want to read my book and I want to write my book, but I have other shit to do. I'm kind of hungry. Jesus. I am 3 chapters in to this book. I am enjoying it. I do think this book is perfectly fitting into my challenge of only reading books that will emotionally devastate me in this video, because I already have such like maternal feelings over Elwood. There's a part where he got like, where they received a bunch of these books and he was so excited, and then all of them except I think one were actually empty and blank, and the people who let him have them knew that, and then they were making fun of him, but he was still just like happy to have them. Just wants to learn, just wants to soak up knowledge, but the world that he lives in is just absolute fucking ass. Everyone's assholes. It makes me so sad. I live under a rock. I didn't know that there is a movie for this. I think it came out last year. So when I do finish this, I will be watching the movie, which will probably just further the hurt that I am probably going to feel when I finish this. Excellent, excellent. Listen, I understand that you are here probably for more of like the reading vlog, but at the end of the day, I am just a girl who wants to include you in my life. And so I did leave the house today and I did get a few things. And I thought you might like to see. I don't freaking know. You probably maybe don't even give a shit, but this is my channel. Now, before you get too excited, it's pretty basic stuff. I like pretty simple things that I can just use as staple pieces, either dress up, dress down. I feel like you should also know that I'm really in my like chocolate brown loving era. I love earthy tones, and so I love getting greens, I love getting browns, I love a pop of red here and there, and I was on the hunt for like a really nice yellow sweater today, didn't find it, or blue. I would like to get a few more blue pieces, but okay, you're gonna look at this and go, wow, quite dull. Thank you. So first up, I have 3 of the same kinds of t-shirts, all in different colors, because I love having nice basic t-shirts, and I wanted to get another white t-shirt. But the feeling of this, if you could feel this, you would be in love. It is, I actually don't even know how to describe it. This is 100% cotton, and I got it in a medium, so I do have a white t-shirt that is like perfectly cropped or whatever. It ends right at my hips. This is just like a little bit bigger, and I thought this would also be nice for, you know, that typical layering underneath a nice sweater if I find one that I actually like. It is like a little see-through, so it probably would just be good for like layering. Like, I'll be honest, it's hard to find a white shirt that's not like fucking see-through. Then I got it also in this green color. I don't know if it's gonna come off green in here, but this is then like a little bit thicker. They were all in the same section. I actually don't think they're the same shirt, but they feel the same. I don't think they're the same kind, because this one's a little bit thicker, but I thought this was just like a really nice looking green t-shirt that you could dress up or dress down. Thank you. And then of course I found myself a brown one. This is why I went to the section. I saw it and then I went, you know what, if I'm getting one, I might as well get 3. So I just got a nice chocolate brown t-shirt, which I really like. If I see chocolate brown, I'm gonna buy it, which is why I bought this other thing. Hold, please. I bought this cropped like button up. For me, it ends right at my hip bone. I don't know if I have a short torso or if all of y'all just have like long torsos, but this perfectly stops right at my hip bone. I was wearing normal rise jeans. They weren't high-waisted, but they weren't low rise by any means, and it ended at the same spot. And I just thought this would be really cute for dressing up, dressing down, whether you wear it on its own, whether you wear it like open. I just think this looked really nice. And it's chocolate brown. Thank you. That's literally my excuse, it's chocolate brown. And lastly, I got this cute little sweater. I have been very careful about like the winter clothes I've been buying, because I am going to be moving somewhere where you don't get the Midwest winter, okay? But it gets cold sometimes, and so I just think this was really cute. It was very nice. Again, you could dress it up, you could dress it down. I don't have one that looks like this, and I like this pattern. It's a little like, oh yes, I'm almost in my 30s, but I still know how to do things. Please stop thinking that I'm freshly 20. So that's the stuff I got. With these though, I do kind of have this rule for myself, is that I will not buy myself more hangers. If I do not have enough for the clothes that I bought, I have to get rid of things. But there are already things in my closet that I know I am willing to get rid of that I just don't wear. Usually my rule of thumb is if I haven't worn it or even reached for it in over a year, you can go. And honestly, a lot of that stuff is just stuff that I had from when I was younger, and thankfully my style is not the same as when I was younger. And by younger I mean like 20. I'm glad at almost 29 I don't want to dress like I did at 20. I feel like I need to be honest with all of you about something. I need to be very vulnerable right now. I love a little mindless game paired with a book, okay? And I am still a slut for goods sorting. Such a good one. And I found this new one. I think it's called A Little to the Left. Loving that as well. However, I wanted something even more mindless than puzzle games, okay? So I have been on the hunt for the last like 3 or 4 days for a good PC mindless game. I didn't really want like an open world game necessarily. I for a while played Once Human. That worked really well. They would have still had me as a loyal fan if they hadn't continuously reset my world and got rid of all my progress. Now they don't do that, but I'm over it. And so yesterday I came across this game where you clean and you organize a crime scene, but not for the police, for the people who committed the crime. I did buy it. I did just spend 43 minutes cleaning up a crime scene and disposing of the bodies. And you know what? It's the perfect little game. It tickles my brain. This sounds... It's like I'm doing stuff, but there's not the objective is just clean shit up. And I went, I can do that. Put shit back where it's meant to be. I can also do that. Do I need to dispose of a few bodies? Yeah. And do I need to collect evidence that would point to the criminals who committed this crime? Also, yes. But did I also listen to my book during it? Yes, I did. I did end up starting the audiobook of The Nickel Boys because I'm enjoying the story and I wanted to continue it. But obviously if I'm playing a game, I can't physically read. So I've just been listening to it. I think it's a pretty decent narration. So I'm about 50% of the way through. 3.5 hours left in it, and one cleaning took me 42 minutes. So what I'm hearing is that it's going to take me about 4 more cleanings to get through this book. At one point I did feel a little scared for some. I had to go up into an attic and it was very dark and there was a dead body. So that wasn't fun. But cleaning up the blood was... You know, you just gotta find the things that make reading enjoyable. I love a little session of just sitting down and physically reading a book. I do love that. But I also love doing other things too, because my brain has a hard time most of the time just sitting there for a very long time. So there's a point where like I'm physically reading, I'm just doing that. And I'm like, okay, I want to keep reading, but I need to do something else. And games, mindless games work wonderful for me. Also crafts. I love doing little crafts, but I'm not doing crafts right now. We've retired the crafts for now. That's like a winter thing. I've noticed. I come out of hibernation to do crafts in the winter. I don't know. It's weird. I really want to focus on this book right now and finish this one. And then I'll probably then jump into The Wild Robot. Because here's the thing. The Nickel Boys paired with cleaning up crime scenes, it's kind of a depressing time. And I don't know what it says about me that this is what I'm like, this is how I want to spend my Sunday. But you do what you do. Yes, I am in fact right where you left me. Yes, I have been playing my crime scene cleanup game. I just did one. Sinister. But during that, I finished The Nickel Boys. I'm not giving a rating because this is one of those books where I'm like, I don't really know how to rate it. I've never read anything like it. And I think the overall discussion of the book is just something, I was here for that. I wasn't looking for certain things out of it. I wanted to read about this subject, this topic, have this discussion, this conversation, whatever it might be. And so I think that outweighs whatever issues I might have had with it. I didn't have like an extreme emotional reaction, but like I felt, I built a connection, but not as strong as one as I thought I would. But that could be because I'm just feeling kind of, I don't want to say numb, but I feel like a book right now, it's going to take like a decent amount to get to me because I'm so just like blocked off from it after Alchemized. And that's nothing like against Alchemized necessarily, but that book was just 1,000+ pages of unfortunate things after unfortunate things. Therefore you kind of build like this somewhat numbness to it. Like it's a constant state of ooh, but like a kind of a numbness. How many times am I gonna say fucking numbness? Overall, I thought this was a good book. I think it's one that is definitely worth your time. And I liked... Well, I can't say that. That's a spoiler. I think in some ways it's better physically read than audiobook. I didn't audiobook it until around the 50% mark, and so I definitely preferred my time reading it physically over the audiobook. And so now, because that paired with also this really kind of scary house, I mean, there's a monitor and it said, "We're watching you," or something like that. I didn't like that. So I was kind of scared. So to combat my wussiness, I am listening to The Wild Robot. And yes, I am gonna go clean, because guess what? Okay, here's my thing. Am I in this game cleaning up crime scenes for the people who committed those crimes? Most of the time, yeah. But I'm doing it because I need money, because my daughter in the game she's ill. I don't know what she has. I didn't read fully. I just saw that she's ill. I'm poor and I need to get her help. I need to pay for her medical bills and expenses. And guess what? Each time I do one of these jobs, my house gets nicer, it gets more organized, and she gets more help, and my bills start getting paid. Okay? So you gotta do what you gotta do out here. If you gotta clean up a few crime scenes to help the criminals get away, to save your daughter, do it. That's what I say. In a game. In real life, don't take advice from me like that. I don't think I'm who you should go to for that. I got some book mail, but also realized that I never showed you this other book that I got. Well, there are two. So I filmed another video, a vlog. I lost half the clips. I got two different Red Rising books. The first one being from Subterranean Press, Lightbringer. Beautiful, gorgeous. It is in the packaging. I took it out once. It scared me because that's one that I bought, like, that's a collector's item that's staying in its box, okay? So I'm not getting that out, but I'll like enter a picture here of what it looks like. It's gorgeous and it's thick. But another one that I got is this bad boy right here. So it's this edition right here, which is stunning. And I think they did say they're going to make these editions for the rest of the books. Will I buy all of them? I don't know. I don't need this many copies. But I did manage to get one of the signed ones. A fun fact is actually I got sent two of these by the publisher, and I ended up gifting them to two of my friends because I wanted to see what little knickknacks it came with. But they offered it, so I was like, oh yeah, sure. And then I gave them to my friends. So those are those ones. I'm gonna put this back now. But the book mail I just got is this bad boy, which is Hazel Thorn by C.G. Drews. This is the same person who wrote Don't Let the Force In. I love these covers. This author knows how to make a cover. This book was a little disappointing to me. The beginning and the end were great. The middle is where it lost me, which is unfortunate because that's the chunk of it. Full transparency, I am doing like a paid post for this, but I agreed to it because it did sound intriguing. I do like the author's concepts, and I'm hoping that maybe the execution of this one is better. For me, when it comes to like paid posts, I only do them if they are books that I genuinely think I would have picked up on my own or have interest in reading. I don't think I've ever posted about a book that I myself wouldn't actually have bought or considered reading. This is gonna sound weird and I don't want it to come off a weird way, but there are plenty of emails that I have gotten for books that I'm just like, listen, this isn't for me. Money's great, but I'm not going to just like randomly start posting some books that are so just out of my preference, that are so obvious as well. But even if they're not, where I'm like, doesn't sound like something I'd like, I'm not gonna post about it, regardless of the money. The one thing that sucks about paid posts is that obviously I need to know a little bit about the actual stories so that I can pitch it, and if you know me, I like going into books completely blind. But look at the back of this. It's kind of crazy, no? Like, this shit's crazy. It gives off the vibe of what I want. I'm just hoping the execution is what I want. I did finish the Wild Robot audiobook, and I think it's a quick and easy read that I think can be enjoyed by people of all ages. But if you're older, obviously you just need to go in knowing that it is written with the intent of it being for kids. So just know that. That doesn't mean you can't read it, but I do like the movie more. I like the changes that they made in the story. It just made it like, it had more heart. It was a little bit more devastating. It tugged at your heartstrings a bit more because of just like the isolation that Roz and Bright Bill and even the fox, what's his name? Pedro Pascal's character, what they go through, and then just like this found family that they have, and then this slow acceptance from everybody else. Whereas in the book, there was some of it, but especially Bright Bill didn't go through as much adversity. So it's fine. I think that it's definitely better listened to on audio because they do add some nice like sound effects and everything to it. However, this is gonna sound so bad, Bright Bill's character did annoy me in the audio. But you know, it was just always like, mama, mama. It did not speak to my maternal side by any means. So I finished that one. I didn't rate that one or the Nickel Boys because, well, the Nickel Boys, I wasn't going in for that for rating, and I wasn't either with the world about. I was going in for the story for both of those in different ways, but I was going in just like for the story, the experience. I did start Legendborn last night, but I'm going to temporarily pause it for right now because I actually want to focus on finishing the second in the Ember in the Ashes book. So, but I read the prologue in the first chapter. I think it's going to be a good time. Very excited. I think earlier in this video I went, oh, maybe the title of this is reading only books that emotionally devastate me. I don't think that's happening. Because I haven't been emotionally devastated. I've been emotionally, ooh. But I don't know if I want to be emotionally devastated anymore. What I should start reading though is A Gentleman in Moscow because my dad started reading it and he said that it's good. I've heard great things about it and that's why I obviously wanted to read it and bought both of us a copy. But he started it. So now I need to start it because I can't let another Murderbot thing happen, which is I suggested All Systems Red to him. I was like 3 novellas into the series and he finished the entire series in like a week. So I think I need to catch up to him a little bit there. So many options. This is my issue here though, is there's so many books that I want to read right now, but I know that my max capacity is 3 books at a time, maybe 4 if I'm feeling really crazy. But right now I feel like it's 2 or 3 is that sweet spot. So I'm just like, which one? Which one do I do? Once again, I'm right where you left me. We have a different tank top on because I did shower since you've seen me, but we still have the same sweater on. This is gonna become my new like comfort hoodie. It's like a blanket, but it stays on my body. It's kind of a gloomy night, which I do love. It's been raining on and off for the last like 4 hours. At one point it was a little too aggressive. I was like, hey, am I gonna lose power? Am I gonna have to go find a flashlight? Thankfully that hasn't happened. I do have a candle on, which is nice. It's been so long since I've been able to light a candle because I'm already quite sensitive to candles. So I have to find certain ones that don't give me just like a raging headache. But I have had, I shit you not, like a throbbing migraine. I had one for like a week and a half straight. And I would take medicine and it would get rid of it a little bit for maybe an hour and then it just come right back. Do I have a little bit of a headache today? Yes, but not so much that I can't have a candle lit, which is so nice because I yearned for a candle. I think this is like the perfect night to maybe start diving into this book, which I did take the cover off, but look at this spine also. This green and gold is stunning, gorgeous. I love it. So I think it might be a fun little time to start this. I did read some of this online before I had accepted like saying yes to this post, and I think I told you about that, but I want to read you the first paragraph of this book. Here we go. He knows what it is to be buried alive, the feeling of dirt in his mouth and the quiet fitting around him like a well-tailored grave. Sometimes Evander still tastes it under his tongue, that rich earth clotting between his molars. He should have grown out of the memory by now, but he belongs to it, and not in a gentle way. This is what I'm saying about this author, because I'm gonna, listen, what is the opening to Don't Let the Forest In? This author knows how to start a book. Yeah, here's the first fucking line of Don't Let the Forest In. It hadn't hurt the day he had cut out his own heart. They had me hooked with that line. The book is just stunning, but that first sentence, hello? I'll read you the rest of the little paragraph underneath. Andrew had written about it later in spidery lines from a sharp pen. A story about a boy who took a knife to his chest and carved himself open, showing ribs like mossy tree roots. His heart a bruised and wretched thing beneath. No one would want a heart like his, but he'd still cut it out and given it away. There is just this, and I don't know how many books do they have? Is this their second book? They might have a ton that I don't know about. They have a ton. Maybe I should check those out. The reason I think I was so disappointed with this book is because this author has some of the most fresh and unique ideas to like fantasy from what I've read at least. And maybe there's like a whole genre of this type, but this was the first time I had dived into something like this. The way in which they use nature in this creepy, horror, unsettling way is just fascinating and I love it. And this one's kind of doing the same thing. So when I had read the premise of this, I was like, hell yeah, brother. My main issue about this was that like the middle bit, the tone and voice just kind of like changed. It went from this very poetic prose to a more simplistic one. And there's nothing wrong with a simplistic prose, but when you go in and out of them, it throws me off a little bit. So that was like my only issue. But the beginning of this book and the last like 20, maybe 30% of this book, fucked, okay? And so I'm hoping that the whole book doesn't need to fuck, but I'm hoping that just like a higher percentage of it fucks. I'm trying to decide though, like truly I'm trying to decide if I want to sink my teeth into this one or if I want to join my father in starting A Gentleman in Moscow. Such very different vibes we have going on here. Very different vibes, obviously completely different genres. The only reason I want to start this is because my dad started it. And honestly, I think my dad reads faster than I do. I'm not a super fast reader. I'm not a super slow. I am the most average speed reader on a good day. On a bad day, I'm below average. And it's mostly because of my ADHD. If I'm being so honest, it's hard for me to just like lock in a lot of the times because I'm just so many different things. I want to do something else, which is why I often do like listen to the audiobook while following along, or listen to the audiobook and do like a little mindless game. And then sometimes like I'll switch between them, which is why I often like getting books in several formats. It's very expensive for me, but it's what helps me actually read as much as I do. And I think there's absolutely no shame in that, which is also why I do love that I got the Libby app. This book, because it's not released yet, I just have to raw dog it. And there's something intriguing about that. There's also something intriguing about me having it before anyone else does, right? It hasn't been released yet, has it? Yeah, no, it's not being released until October 28th. Oh my god, okay, so this is YA horror, just like Don't Let the Forest In, but they are coming out with an adult horror called You Did Nothing Wrong in 2026. See, this is an author where, because I like their premises so much and I do love the opening and ending of the book I read by them, there's someone that I want to give more chances to, even though the book that I'd read by them I did have my issues with and it did disappoint me. And I think that's something really special because other people, for example, where is it? Ava Reed. I really want to read Juniper and Thorn, but I was so severely disappointed by A Study in Drowning that it's very hard for me to even consider picking up Juniper and Thorn. I own it. I was at the Harper Voyager office in New York when I went to New York Comic Con last year, and they had a bunch of books, and I saw it and I was like, okay, this is a sign. They're offering to let us have it. I should take it. And I did, and that was a year ago because New York Comic Con just happened again. And I haven't touched it since, even though I know that's like people's favorite book, I think, by that author. But I was so disappointed by A Study in Drowning that it's just taking a lot for me to stop holding a grudge, honestly. But I was very disappointed in Don't Let the Force In because I was so pulled in and invested in that story and I was let down and then it picked up again type of thing. But their freaking premises are insane, dude. And I'm not just saying this because I'm going to like do a paid sponsored post. I'm going to still tell you, even after I read, I'm going to tell you my honest review of it. I'm saying this because I need one of these authors' books to just Anyways, before I read though, I did get myself a slice of cake. And so I'm going to eat probably a sixth of it because it is chocolate on chocolate on chocolate. Just realized I don't think I ever finished this video. So that's on me. I don't even remember the last time or what I even last said. I feel like I was sat right here, more than likely, and I was probably playing my crime scene cleaner game. I think I'm going to end this video here though, so I just want to pop in. I want to say goodbye. I want to say thank you for hanging out with me once again. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you have a great week. I hope you get paid. I hope you get a pay raise, a promotion. If you want one, there's nothing wrong with not wanting a promotion. And I'm going to go and try to write, so that one day someone might be able to make one of these reading vlog videos and what they're reading in their video is my book. That'd be fucking crazy. That would be crazy. I really want that to happen. Therefore, I need to go and write the book because people can't read the book if I don't write it, which kind of sucks. I wish I could just airdrop it to all of you. That'd be so nice.